Hello everybody and welcome to a new Let's Play. Today we start with Ostriv. The game has just been released on Steam. It has been out now on closed alpha for quite some time and is now out in early access. So with that we also see some new features. Of course, I'm also going to stream this Let's Play as I'm recording, also on Twitch now, so if you want to watch me on Twitch, just have a look at the video description, and you'll also find a link there to Steam, where you can purchase the game if you're interested in that, but that is not an affiliate link. I'm not reviewing this game here, I'm really just playing it and also, well, showing you the mistakes the game has. Now, we are here already in the main menu, and as we can see, we only really have one option, that is a new game. It is still an early access, keep that in mind. There's no campaign, there is a smaller tutorial, and other than that we can choose between 4 maps here that we have. And this game, well, it's a city builder in 18th century, so also quite interesting setting there. And yeah, let's choose a level there, and that's it already. Here we are on an empty map, and let's have a look here. So the game is pretty interesting from a standpoint that you can really do a lot. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to find a suitable location for our first settlement. Now down here we have the button for that, and we do now have, as you can see, lots of space here. And in this case here, yeah, why not? Let's have a smaller settlement in this area here. There we have some forest here and also the river. I do like to build close to the river. Is this here accessible? This is accessible for strange reason, because this is not accessible. You know, we need to get a bridge over here if we want to continue building something there. But here we can still build the settlement here that we want, a smaller one, or over here then, or when we chop down the forest there, something like that. Let's choose a suitable location. It's always, for me, the most difficult thing that happens in my mind, and that is the location. Now I think this one is quite good. We get rid of the forest here anyway at some point, so let's choose the first town center, and there it is. Now, that is a town center, obviously, and here we have some basic resources. We have some tents here, we have our settlers, so they all have a name here, and as you can see, this is Ukrainian territory, so those are names that I mostly will not be able to pronounce. And all of them have some specialization. Some of them are, well, this one is unemployed, but he's 4 years old, so I think we can excuse him for that. Others have a specialization for building, for chopping, for smithing, and stuff like that. So we have to use them as well for their specializations. Now here they are. And we actually do have the first quest here, and that is building a forestry. And there it is, that's the building. And yeah, since we do want to chop down those trees here for more building space, let's have a forestry just here. And what you will see when I place this building here, well, it is like settler style. So those buildings take quite some time to build. This one here does need some wood and some nails. So my settlers now, they carry the goods that they find here from our storage here, the camp storage that we have. We have some iron here, some nail, some thatch, and they're carrying it over here, you know, and then step by step are starting to build that house. That is pretty cool, I think. So I like that concept here. Obviously, this is early access, so the game still doesn't look as polished as, let's say, Anno, of course, but it's getting there. With every update, we have seen tremendous progress, and what I really love is how those buildings are being built. So every single building in this game is meaningful, and I just absolutely love the idea of that. Much, much better than when the building just is there, boom, and in a second it's there. Nope, we have to build them. Let's slow time there for a second so we can see how they build it. As you can see, 2 are building, 2 are carrying, and that's really it for our very first building here that we have, the forestry. I mean, those are some strong men, I gotta say that. On this fine day, building our first buildings. Let's speed up the game again a bit, because it's really just taking a lot of time while they're doing that. Now, something else is pretty cool, and that is the path system in this game. So we are not building any streets here. Streets are being built according to where people go the most, you know, where most frequently they pass. And there we have then streets, and on these streets we can then put something like benches and gates and stuff like that. And just wait 20 to 30 minutes and you'll see how beautiful the game can look once we add some ornamentation to it, because we're definitely doing that in a few minutes once we get some paths and streets up here. Right now, We're still building the forestry. It's a big building, so it's really taking time. But as you can see, we are now with the floor here. Beautiful. Absolutely love how they built that. And next up, what we can already do while they do things like that, we do need to prepare a few other things. We do need a clay pit because we do need clay, obviously. So the clay pit is something that we might actually also have somewhere up here close to our forest, or we could also have it here. No, let's have it here. There, the building is finished. Very good. Let's also move the clay pit around here a bit, just like that. Very good. There we have the clay pit, so the clay pit is just there instantly, and there we get infinite clay from it. Here we now have the forestry. It's empty for now, so we can assign now 2 workers to it. Let's do that. Let's assign 2 workers here. And they now start to produce. We could also say, I only want to hire men, or I only want to hire women, or I want to hire both, and also the wage, because there's of course also a deeper financial system in this game. Up here we have the coins, and the coins then decide, well, how much income I have and how much I can pay for the taxes. That's the most important thing. And the more I pay, the more efficient my people get and stuff like that. Now, I've got 2 people in here, and they are now chopping down the trees, carrying the logs here to the sawmill then, and produce, well, logs out of it, or wood and firewood. We do need both of them. Looking fine so far. We have the clay pit. Something else that we do need, and that is the thatchery. Now the thatchery, that is then producing the thatch that we need for houses. And in this case here, we do need here the reefs on the river. That's very important. That's the reason why it's very important to build your first settlement close to your rivers. That's something you definitely want to have. And let's have this one here, a cozy little thatchery, something like that. Also takes a bit of time again to build. That we can have here. And of course we can then also start to, well, kind of like produce certain goods. And as we can see here on the world map, we are only one settlement of many. So here we are, and we can then just go to this one here and, for example, trade with them. And that is really cool. So we should start producing goods of our own then as well once we grow. Right now we are 26 people, and of course right now they can reproduce then if they want to. In tents where they're living right now, it's kind of hard to reproduce. And especially since it's March, it's warm now, but we definitely want to have houses up before winter comes. Like in Banished, well, seasons matter a lot. Here we have the thatchery, and in the thatchery, I want to only hire women. Right, so we only have women here now. For the thatchery, it's rather an easy task for them, so they just have to pluck it, the reefs from the river, and that's fine then, so they can do that. There they're coming up. The clay pit is working, and here we can see now we do have wood and firewood as well. So we do have now 3 basic productions up and running there with a bit of workforce. Also important will be the charcoal pile, so with that we can produce then coal. And in this case, yeah, let's also have the tier close to our forest lodge. Here, and that's it already. It's just that building here. My people are now automatically going for the firewood, as you can see, and then, well, they make coal out of it. Just trying to pronounce those names here: Vladislava Hubiek and Veselina Kit. I hope that is just even remotely how you pronounce it usually. Now, as you can see, firewood is being transported over here now. They need to pile it up. I think we don't have enough firewood for now, you know, so my people here in the forestry, they need to chop faster, because otherwise, no coal, no smith later on. Of course, those people also, not only while they chop for a living, but they also need to live. So, you know, they have breaks, they go here to the town center, and they just rest, relax, they cook something, they cook a bit of food there, drink something, sleep, reproduce, have a bit of fun, whatever. And we need to put that into our context here, because otherwise we are lost. They need to have a bit of fun there as well. And what we can see here right now is, since there are so many people going to the forestry here back and forth, here you can see it, our first path is forming, our first street is forming. In the beginning, it's really just a path, but it's getting a street there soon. And here, since we have a bit of more firewood, we have now our charcoal pile here coming up as well. And since it's winter still, it's always nice to play games that have so bright colors and just look at that. Almost no clouds there. You can really feel that summer is coming, and it's beautiful when the weather is so dreary outside. Just having a deep blue sky here and the river down there. I can almost imagine myself lying there somewhere. Now, we are finally also producing some coal. That is here, so we have enough firewood here, and now we are doing that. Very good. So those 4 basic buildings are now fully producing. That's important. What we can do next is our quest here. So we have April, and we need to build 9 houses, actually, not tents, houses. Now let's go for the houses. There's the village house. It does need 5,000 wood, 100 nails, 300 thatch, and 1,000 clay. We do have 1,400 nails, so we can start with the houses. Now with the houses, there's a really cool system underlying there. Those houses are just the basic buildings, but they improve over time as the families get more wealth, as they amass more wealth. And that's a really cool thing. Now what I want to have here, since we have a beautiful river here, I actually want to build those houses just beside the river, so it's looking nice there. So we do need 9 of them. That's a little settlement here. And I think in this case, yeah, let's build them. And as you can see, they're automatically coming together here to the next building. So I can decide how much garden this house here should have, for example. And then we just place a few more here. We do need 9. That's quite a lot. Let's try and move it a bit there. Very good. And also a bit back and forth here. This is looking fine. So that's the first 5 that we have. And then on the other side, we can do the same. So here. Oh, this is looking strange here, but also quite fun. Is it? No place. The place is occupied. Can we kind of mix it? Yeah, we can do it like that. Okay, I'm fine with that. So that's 9. And as you can see, they're starting now building those houses. It, again, takes a bit of time. And our first house is finally taking shape. There's even a chimney in there on this fine day. Still need a bit of firewood, a few nails here, a bit of thatch. Listening to some relaxing, beautiful music there in the background. And I think our first house should be finished now. There's the roof coming up. And there we have the first house. As you can see, now the first family moves in here, Panis and Oksana. This is the Krivovkvist family. And they're now living there. They reproduce and they get children. They have no children yet. They also have some resources in here, and they need to get those resources then from the town center, which is becoming then a marketplace later once we have, well, some decent resources for that. And doing that, as you can see now, there are a few ornaments here coming up now too. Some bushes here in that garden here. And the second house is being built. 8 tents are still missing that we need to build. So it's, well, it's taking a bit of time here. So the beginning is slow, relaxing, just watching everything as my settlement takes shape. And no street here yet. We can see kind of like the outline of a little path here coming together. I absolutely love that. It's like with the settlers, where they're also the old settlers, where you have these paths forming automatically where people travel. And I really, really like the idea of that. And we're going to have a path here, of course. And then we can add some new things here. As we can see here, since more people are going through here, we have a path already forming here, taking shape. Going here to the settlement there. To our little forestry here. Also, do we have coal? Yes, we do have 9,000 charcoal now. I don't know why the numbers are so high. They don't need to be that high. I mean, 9,000 is a bit unrealistic, and 14,000 wood. That's quite interesting how much wood we actually have in that building here. They could reduce the numbers there just for realism's sake. Other than that, I'm fine with it. 2,000 thatch. Might be 4, as far as I care. And over here, the second house is taking shape. The second village house that we have also building up there now. What I want to check real quick, we have 2 workers here. That's women. This one here doesn't need any workers as far as I know. Resource supply. Nope, that's fine. This one here has 3 workers right now. I think that's a bit too much. Let's get rid of one of them. And this one here doesn't need any workers. People just take the clay when they need it. Right, and here people are resting still. And yeah, what's also pretty cool is that those tents here disappear now one by one the more buildings we have. Because this one here, of course, is no permanent situation here. These are tents. When the winter comes, we definitely don't want to have people living in tents anymore. Okay, what's missing? I think something is missing. No, all resources are collected. They're just taking a break. And what we can see here is another path is forming. Right, so once again, I want to have a look at the world map. Can we do anything here? I don't think we can do anything here yet. This is 19 days away. Merefa, that city here. Then we have Balakilia here 6 days away. And Derkachi, 16 days away. And as we can see here, this is Ostriv, I think. Or our city's Ostriv. I don't know. I think this whole thing here is Ostriv. And here we have those settlements then. Might be interesting where this goes from here. And the second village house is finished, and there is another tent that disappeared then. So it's getting a bit more empty over there. And here we have the second house, and the third one is already in construction now. As you can see, people are going back and forth. And after a little bit of time, we finally have 3 houses now, and just look at how cute this looks. Every house is a bit different here, so none of them is the same really. This one has a little porch here, this has a little terrace there, and this one has nothing. Also rather simple, and also the path here is coming up. So what we can do now, since we can see a path starting, we can add some decorations to that. So I promised you that. Now we do have a small arch like this one here. Look at that. So we can have like this one here as an entrance to our little... well, how do you say that? A little block here that we have there. Something like that. Perhaps there's a bigger one too. I think there was a big one too. Yes, something like that. This is like the entrance to that area here, you know, so we can have that here. We can also add some benches then. So that those benches, they're actually used those benches there. Because of course that is a beautiful view here that we're having. So just along the... as you can see, just along the river here, we do have a few of those benches there. Right, and well, probably some bushes then next to them, or down here. This then feels a bit like Planet Zoo, where you have so much freedom with those things. So just along the street here, the path that's forming, we do have a few ornamentations. Oh, that's a huge tree though. Pine tree. Ash tree. Oh, that looks better. Oh, okay, we do need to build the tree though. Tree seedling. Okay, so the tree needs to be built actually. It needs to be planted. Also have the birch tree. Make it a bit different here. Right, so we don't want to disrupt the path here though. We want to keep that. And what we can also do is adding some fences here. I also like that very much. So there we have a fence. And just look how nice this can look then. And we can actually connect the fence with the gate here, I think. But in this case, I think we might interfere with the path then or something like that. Right? Not looking so bad so far. We have some bushes here, some benches here, and then we can also add some more fences if we want to over here. Oh, there's another house now being built. Yeah, I need to be careful here so that I don't disrupt the pathing of the people. So that's a nice little village that we have here. Just something for the beginning, you know. It definitely does look better than before. And just to show you the scheme or the content of this game, let's have a look at the production buildings. It's huge. Like, we have lots of production buildings here. We also at some point need to start with a farm, and then we have the weaver workshop and the tailor workshop and the oil workshop, I don't know, for oil, and then fishing docks. So the fishing docks here along the river, that is something we definitely should do at some point, because fishes you get all year long if there is not, well, hard frost or something like that. We have a beautiful big church here, and I can definitely see the Eastern style out of this one here. So many options, so many buildings, and I don't think we have unlocked all of them yet. There's the town hall, a mighty building here. So this is then something that replaces this town hall here right now, which is only a, well, a tent, that is. So we have lots of options then, and I'm so excited of where this is going. Just look at that. Beautiful, right? How it develops over time. There are more paths now coming up here. We also finished this village house. This one here is still in construction. And then we have a second whole row here also that still needs to come up. And what I can already see is that we have this block here, and then we're going to have a main center here, kind of main road, and then having some more houses here, and then a little village center there with town center and church. Oh yes, this is going to be a pretty town. Right now still 26 people, so no one reproduced, but we just built those houses there. You know, it takes a bit of time, obviously. We could also slow down time. I think in this speed here, it does look really nice, but it's just taking a long time for those houses especially to build here. Beautiful. I hope they add also more ornamentations like this one here. I absolutely love it when we can add so many smaller details to the settlement. And what I can see is, yep, there is also the house finished now. So I would also like to add a smaller bench. Over here to that house there. And for now we can close the bench off here, you know, so we can still get rid of this later, but right now we close it off here. So this is kind of like the end of our town. I think we also now planted those trees. Yep, there it is. Amazing. So the trees need to grow themselves. We can't just place them there and they appear. Nope. We actually need to place those trees here just like that, looking absolutely fantastic. Also, then I would like to have a few more. So we have the ash tree here at the end of that one here. Can we actually remove trees? Now I need to check that. Yeah, so the forester would then chop it down, the tree. That's fine. So we can have a tree, an ash tree here at the end of the path. Because, you know, later perhaps we need to chop it down then. I don't know. But right now I want to have one there. And then perhaps we can also add a few bushes here again. They all have different shapes though. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. there's also a bench here right beside the fence there. Just like that, and there we have the next tree that is also now growing, taking a bit of time of course. We still have 3 houses here, so we wait for that.